Happy wife, happy life, right? That's the saying. Your dad probably lived it. Maybe your grandfather talked about it. Maybe you heard your uncle say like, happy wife, happy life. If she's happy, I'm happy. Ha ha ha. And clearly he was freaking miserable. can we just agree that the notion that if you just make your wife happy, or if you just make your girlfriend happy, that your life will be happy as well, that it's a lie, that it's just a blatant lie that leads to us acting in stupid ways and it doesn't get us anywhere. Like, I think that this is like the bedrock narrative and story that most nice guys buy into, that if you just make your wife or your girlfriend happy, that then you as a man have a chance of happiness. Like, I remember working with a client, and he was really upset because he wasn't getting his needs met physically, sexually, in the relationship. And I said, well, how do you communicate those things? Like when you want intimacy, when you want to have sex, when you feel aroused by your partner, how are you communicating those things? And he said, well, I guess I try and like warm her up to it. Like I'm trying to get her into a place of being happy, of feeling connected, of, like I basically have to spend like 24 hours, buy her dinner, take her out, the flowers, the whole thing. And I said, okay, so you have the notion that if you make her happy first, then maybe you can be happy, right? Then maybe you can find a sense of happiness. And he said, yeah, happy wife, happy life, right? Isn't that the way that it goes? And this man had been married for, I don't know, 20 years, I think. And I said, okay, well, you've been married for 20 years. How long have you been trying that? And he said, I guess probably like 16 or 18 of the years. And I said, okay, how's that been going? And he said, not well. No, not well, man. I was like, right. So why is it that happy wife, happy life is a lie? Well, first off, it puts your emotional well-being, your needs, your wants, your desires on the shoulders of your woman, on the shoulders of her happiness. So you have to get another human being into an emotional state, into a psychological state in order for you to be happy, in order for you to even have a chance of getting what you want, getting what you need, getting to feel what you want, getting to connect in the way that you desire. And so the problem with that is that your joy, your happiness is on the other side of someone else's experience. So you've outsourced your desire, you've outsourced your happiness, you've outsourced your love, you've outsourced your needs. You've said, my needs are secondary. My needs aren't as relevant as the other person. I heard this great quote the other day. It said, don't be surprised that when you put your wife, your girlfriend on a pedestal, and you put their needs on a pedestal, that they're looking down at your needs. And that hit home because I think for a lot of us as men, and I know that I've done this in my past, in my 20s, this is how I operated. I really thought that if I could just make my girlfriend happy, if I could meet her needs, if I could rub her shoulders and, take her out to a nice place for dinner, that maybe then I had a chance of getting my needs met too. And it was always that my needs, my wants, and my desires were secondary. And so I diminished my wants and my needs. And I think that this is a tactic that a lot of men take because maybe just like me, you grew up hearing a dad, hearing a father, hearing a male role model saying, happy wife, happy life. And so you kind of adopted this unconscious behavior that if you can just solve her problems, if you can just figure out what she needs, what she wants, if you can just get her to be happy first, then you have a chance of getting yours needs met. And the problem with this, probably the biggest issue, is that it puts you in the role, it parentifies you, right? Because all of a sudden you become responsible for your girlfriend, your wife's emotional state. It incarcerates you. It imprisons you because you are then responsible for making her feel whatever she's feeling. And women can get caught in this cycle of blaming you for feeling how they're feeling because you have communicated to them through your behavior, through your actions, I'm responsible for how you feel. And so if you're not feeling happy, joyful, loved, connected, then it must be me. It must be my fault. And for a lot of guys, this creates a huge rift. It creates resentment. It creates anger and animosity. And so what we have to do is we have to break the illusion. We have to stop pretending that if we just meet our other person's needs and make them happy constantly. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't meet our partner's needs, that we shouldn't have them be a priority. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's still an important part of the equation. It simply means that we prioritize our needs, our wants, our desires as equal to theirs, that we actually put our needs and wants first. And to begin with, it's going to feel uncomfortable, right? Because for a lot of nice guys, for a lot of men, we have been indoctrinated into this idea that women lead the relationship, that women call the shots, that women get to decide what's right and what's wrong in the relationship, that women get to decide whether the relationship is good or not. And so what I've noticed is that so many men have zero needs, zero wants, and they, outside of that, they actually have no real vision or dream or understanding of what they want their relationship to look like. And so my invitation for you is to sit down, grab a pen, grab a paper, and start to ask yourself, what is my vision for an impeccable relationship? What is my vision as a man for an impeccable relationship? What do I want an impeccable relationship to look like? And then secondly from that, what do I want to bring into the relationship in order to make that vision happen? So what needs, what wants, what desires? How do I have to communicate? Do I need to be more assertive? Do I need to speak my needs more? Do I need to spend more time with my partner? Do I need to admit that I've become resentful, right? So start to get clear on what's your vision for the relationship. Have some damn standards, because I think for most of us, and I don't say that in a shaming way or an accusatory way. I say this from a place of, I had no standards. I really didn't have a vision for what I thought the relationship should look like, because I was so consumed by this notion that women dictate what a relationship should look like, that women are the ultimate deciders of whether or not a relationship is good, whether it's exciting enough, whether it's adventurous enough. And most of the relationships that I was in, especially in my teens and my 20s, for the most part, the quality of that relationship was 100% decided by the women that I was dating. I almost had no say in whether or not the relationship was meeting my standards. And this led me to all kinds of problems that I've talked about in the past. So ask yourself, what does an impeccable relationship look like to me? And am I willing to break the notion of happy wife, happy life? Because what it's really about is two sovereign individuals coming together and prioritizing togetherness. And what we often do is we sacrifice our own sovereignty as men to prioritize the other person's needs, to prioritize the relationship in a hope that that will get reciprocated. And it's not how it works. It teaches the other person that their needs, their wants are always priority. And so when you start to put your needs forward, when you start to act in a way where you're prioritizing your needs, you're probably going to get some pushback, because it's going to be foreign to the dynamic. So put your needs before, not necessarily before the other person, but put your needs as a priority. Make your needs, your wants known within the relationship. Get very clear on what is my vision for an impeccable relationship, and break free from this illusion of happy wife, happy life. Comment below. Let me know what you think. What would you add? Have you been here before? Have you broken free from this? If so, what did you do? I would love for you to share with the other men on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. And until next week, this is Connor Beaton signing off.